Ohio. Balti, the city and a municipality, the second largest city in the Republic of Moldova after Chisinau. The word belts in the literal translation means swamps. Other value, pool. It is considered that the city received such name because it is located in the marshland. The modern coat of arms and flag of Balti were approved at a meeting of Council of a municipality in April 2006. Projects of the coat of arms and flag were developed by the member of the State Commission on Heraldry Sylvie Tabak. Basic element of the coat of arms, a board on which 12 alternating horizontal strips of silver and blue color are applied. Silver color symbolizes water, blue the earth. The combination of these flowers symbolizes the Moldavian name of the city, literally meaning swamps. That is water and the earth. The flag represents a cloth from two horizontal strips. Silver, top, and blue, lower, colors. In the center of a cloth, the basic element of the coat of arms, a board with the image of the archer, is located. On March 29, 2012, the Municipal Council voted for using in the city a historical flag of the state Moldavian, along with state and a flag of a municipality. Balti is located in the north of Moldova, in 105 km to the northwest from Chisinau, on the hilly plain. The Balti Steppe. In the place of confluence with the route of the Rutsel River. The route crosses the city from the northeast on the southwest, Rutsel from the southeast on the northwest. Total length of these rivers in the territory of Balti is 17 km. Through the city also the Kopachanka and Flemand rivers in flows of the route flow. All rivers belong to the basin of Dniester. In the territory of Balti there are several artificial lakes. City, Komsomol, Brick. The square of the city -43 km. With suburbs -78.01 km. Balti is in a 7-mark zone of seismicity. The soil structure is made by the ordinary Chernozem and clay sandy loam. The climate is moderately continental. The winter is soft, short, summer hot, long. Average temperature of January 4.0 C, July of +20.5 C. The absolute maximum of temperature makes +40 C, and absolute minimum 32 C. The prevailing winds, northeast and northwest 2-5 m/s. The annual rainfall of 450-500 m. The main share of rainfall falls on warm season. The area of green zones, squares, green avenues, is 262.5 hectares, forests and parks -498. 5 hectares, only 761 hectares or 9.7%. Small distribution of the woods is caused by use of sites in construction fund. The area of the woods is reduced annually because of illegal cutting. Basic elements of a city system of public green zones are city parks. Central Park, Victory Park, Marinsky Park, Nezavisosti Avenue. The same system joins green territories of inhabited educations and groups. Balti and the Balti County from the address calendar of the Russian Empire, All Russia 1902. Page 61-63. Balti is the economic and cultural center of the northern region, therefore the city carries an informal rank of northern capital. The first documentary mention of existence of the settlement on the place of modern Balti is dated 1421. This year is considered to be year of foundation of the city. At the time the settlement was a part of possession of Ringola, wife Moldavian Alexander Dobry. However, Professor T. Marshalkovsky considers that the first really documentary mention belongs to October 1620 in the description of a so-called Czarski campaign of the Polish army against Turks. In 1711, during the Prussian campaign of Peter I, the settlement was burned again. According to one version, the Tatars seeking to destroy base of supply of the Russian troops, on another, the Russian troops during retreat. In 1766, Moldavian Grigory Trejka presented lands down the river the route to the Yaski monastery of Saint Spiridon and large merchants, brothers Alexander, Constantine and Aurkipanata. In Penate's manor construction of the village of Balti, which at the end of the beginning of the 19th centuries became the small trade town, began. In 1779, by the invitation of the Turkish Pasha, the Jewish merchants lodged in Balti. 3 years later, the rights and duties of the Jewish community are approved by the authorities. In 1812, Bessarabia passed under the Russian jurisdiction, and in 1818, at formation of the Bessarabia region which entered the Pale of Settlement, Balti was appointed the district city of the Yaski county, which remained up to 1849. Same year, Balti was visited by the Emperor Alexander I. It is considered that during the stay in Balti the emperor received news of the nephew's birth. Future Emperor Alexander II. And in honor of this event I enjoined to give to Balti the status of the city. In 1856 Balti was awarded with visit by the Empress Maria Alexandrovna. In 1887 the Yaski county was renamed into Beletsky. That is Balti. At this time in Balti lived ap. 10,000 people, generally Jews -70%. In the city there were 72 synagogues. Located at the intersection of main roads. He connected Chernivtsi, Hotin, Soroki with Chisinau, Bender, Ackerman, Ismail. The city gradually became considerable shopping center of Bessarabia. The cattle was the main subject of trade. The value of Balti even more increased when in 1894 the railroad of Balti and Jenichisina and Rudnitsa Baltioknitsa was constructed. By the beginning of the 20th century Balti turned into the industrial city with widely developed trade, a set of the plants and factories. In 1897 18478 people from them lived in the city. Native language: Jews Moldavians -3157, Russians -3627, Ukrainians -581, Poles -533. On September 27, 1912 in Balti the edition of the local newspaper began. Economic development of Balti continued also after accession of Bessarabia to Romania in 1918. Jews made most of the population of the city. According to the Romanian population census of 1930, of 35,000 inhabitants, about 20,000 were made by Jews, 1,000,000 Moldavian people and the Ord Ukrainians and Russians. Balti was twice visited by the King of Romania Carol II. In 1924, still being the Crown Prince, and in 1935, together with the son future King Mihai. On November 11, 1940, the city of Balti is carried by the decree of Presidium of the Supreme Council of the Moldavian Ser to cities of Republican subordination. Then, besides functions of the district center, Balti became the center of the Balti district, as well as the majority of the Moldavian cities. Balti strongly were damaged during World War II. The most part of the Jewish population which remained in the city was destroyed. In Soviet period, Balti became the large industrial center with the status of the city of Republican subordination. December 25, 1962, the Balti district was liquidated, and the city of Balti is allocated in a separate administrative unit. In 1991, independence of Moldova was declared. The city lost the status of city of Republican subordination. In the conditions of the economic crisis caused by the collapse of the USSR, most of the enterprises of the city appeared on the edge of survival. Unemployment and sharp decrease in the standard of living led to the fact that a considerable part of inhabitants left the city. From 1989 to 2004, the population of Balti was reduced by 20%. Most of Jews was repatriated to Israel and emigrated to other countries. In 1998, as a result of administrative territorial reform, the Balti County, Judets, with the center in the city of Balti, was formed. However, after the return reform of 2003, abolition of counties and return to division into areas, Balti was found again by the status of the separate administrative unit which isn't entering in one of areas. The municipality Balti is an independent administrative and territorial unit of the second level. According to the law of the Republic of Moldova about the administrative territorial device of the Republic of Moldova, Balti is a part of a municipality, the villages of Sadavu and Elizaveta. The first master town planning plan of Balti was adopted in 1845, the last and acting in force, the master town planning plan of Balti of 2005. Balti is local authorities of a municipality: the Balti Municipal Council, the Mayor Municipia Balti, Primaria Municipia Balti. The Municipal Council consists of 35 advisors who are elected according to the Code about elections. Heads: Sidorenko, Sergei Stepanovich, -1958-1960. Yakubovsky, Piotr Ivanovich, -1970-1973. Vasily Iov, 1976-1980. Milozin, Vladimir, -1987. Hazes, Viktor Ivanovich, -1987-1990. Tukuk, Vladimir, -1990-1995. Hazes, Viktor Ivanovich, from 1995 to 2001. Panchuk, Vasily Tarasovich, since 2001, on January 24, 2011. January-June 2011. Panchuk, Vasily Tarasovich, since June 23, 2011, on June 14, 2015. Nastached, Renato Georgievich, since July 2, 2015, on February 13, 2018. Gregorishin, Nikolay Nikolaevich, since February 13, 2018, on November 1, 2019. Nastached Renato Gwargiewicz since November 1, 2019. Grigorishin Nikolay Nikolaevich since December 20, 2021. Public organizations. Balti is one of the important centers of development of local and national civil society of Moldova. In the city many independent and non-political organizations, such as Empotoroi Dikanai, on care of socially vulnerable people, the youth organization, Youth for the Right for Life, the organization which is engaged in development of youth policy in Balti by Prosperitatea Viitorului, the Prospering Future, non-governmental public organization, Movement of Soul, and others were founded. In Balti there is a head office of the largest public organization, Choice of Moldova. Also in Balti the regional office of public organization, League of the Russian Youth of the Republic of Moldova, functions. In total in Balti more than 50 public organizations work. For the first 6 months 2017 in Balti 1350 people were born. For the same period of last year this figure made 1281 persons. According to the staff of management, the resident population of Balti is 151,249 people. The resident population is a number of the persons who are constantly living in this territory including temporarily absent, being, for example, on earnings in Europe or Russia. The number of births grew in comparison with the first half of the year 2016 by 5.4%. At the same time the number of the dead increased by 2.2%. If in January-June 2016 in Balti 673 persons from whom 6 children about 1 year, then for the first half of the year 2017, 15 people more died. From them 9 are children about 1 year. According to the State Register of the Population, within the first 6 months 2017 to Balti profits from other places of 576 people, and left 296. Therefore, migration gain was 280 people. The population of the municipality Balti considered at a census on October 5, 12, 2004 was 127,561 people. 3.8% of the population of Moldova without east areas in a municipality Bender. Urban population minus 122,669, rural minus 4892. Men minus 58418, women minus 69143. Economy. Balti, the large industrial center. In the territory of the city 4 large industrial zones are located. In the city of 40 large enterprises. Food and light industry, electrotechnical and agricultural mechanical engineering, on production of building materials and the total annual turnover in economy made 16 billion leu. $1 billion. For 2017. In the city work several large supermarket chains, such as National Network Fidesco, Ukrainian Network Forshet, Local Network Green Hills Mart, Linella and others. Also in the city is available hypermarkets Metro C&C, Kaufland, Slovenia Terminal. For 2015 in a municipality 668 commercial agents. From them 213 food, 417 industrial. 3 supermarkets, 76 specialized shops, 54 shops warehouses, 7 shops cookeries, 5 shops terraces and 9 markets functioned. In for 2015 commercial activity was carried out by 5147 enterprises. According to the Balti Management of Statistics, the average monthly salary in September 2020 in the city reached 80.46 lei, 380 euros. Statistically, the average salary of employees of the budgetary sphere was 76.74 lu, in education minus 71.68 lei. On the basis of Law No. 26 of March 4, 2010 adopted by Parliament Rearman Balti, the Free Economic Zone of Balti was created. Says includes 5 sites in the territory of the city, the largest 124 hectares and more than 10 over the country. They have access to the railroad and highways of the international value. The planned period of validity of says Balti minus 25 years. Housing stock of Balti contains 12800 houses and 65 hostels. The highest house is minus 18 floor. In Balti there are 431 streets and 11 automobile bridges. Total length of all streets, drives and embankments minus 260 km, with a total area of 2,967.3 thousand square m. Total length of sidewalks minus 218.4 km, networks of the stormwater drainage system minus 31.2 km. The term of operation of municipal highways is of 10 years and more that affects a condition of their covering. The quality of coverings of roads is gradually put in order. Water supply of Balti is carried out by a Canal Balti operator, from the Dniester River by means of the Soroksky conduit. In the city there are also 89 wells, the most part from them is preserved. Besides, in the territory of a municipality there are 36 pure tanks, 14 pump stations, 667 mine wells. The wear of water supply systems of the city exceeds 70%. Cleaning of municipal territories is made by several enterprises. Drew, housing and public utilities belts and bio. Export, warehousing and waste recycling. Are made by the Beltstrumant enterprise. An operator, the supplier of the centralized heating, is the Setnord enterprise. Transport. Passenger traffic in Balti is carried out trolleybus and bus managements, private buses, share and automobile taxis. The total amount of transportations in a year minus 35.4 million passengers. 2004. Tariffs for public transport are regulated by municipal council. In the municipality 9 bus and microbus routes served by the private companies generally work. Average extent of one route of 8-10 km. In a municipality the trolleybus network with 8 trolleybus routes works. Most of them pass through the downtown and connect all stations of the city. Balti is on crossing of important means of communication and is the important transport transmodal hub today, namely, on crossing of the European main highway. The road of Class B. Bus traffic is an effective way of movement between the cities in Moldova, also as share taxis. Public or private services. Balti is connected with Chisinau 127 km of the highway built in Soviet period. The part of the road is in good condition. It is from Balti it is possible to reach by the motor transport Ukraine in northern or east direction and in 1 hour prior to Romania in the southwest direction through the customs checkpoints Gun and Shguliana in the western direction through Zdinde, Kozdeshta who allows to reach the important Romanian city of Iata. 104 came from Balti. The bus station of Balti is one of the biggest in Moldova and provides bus traffic to literally any settlement of Moldova and also European Eurolines and the international bus traffic. Balti, the most important transport hub of the north of Moldova, which part two railway stations are Balti Slobodza and Balti cities of the railroads of Moldova. Both stations serve passenger and cargo trains of the local and international message. Local trains of the regular message include such directions as Oknitz, North, Rezin, East, and China, Southwest, and also Chisinau. The trip in the train to Chisinau takes 6 hours. 200 km from Balti with railway communication. In the city there is one functioning airport which is international, the International Airport Balti Lyadovany, and several came to the north. Near the village Korlitan, earlier called Lyadovana. Modern according to the Soviet standards, constructed in the 1980th years, were big jet airliners. One runway 2,200 meters long can make landing. At the moment there is no information on regular flights. During the Soviet period there was an airport for small planes. The airport Balti cities was on eastern frontier of the city. It was the most important airport in this region during World War II. Culture. International Festival of Young Performers, Crystal Stork. Ethnocultural Festival, Unity Through Variety. National Theatre of Vasil Alexandri. Regional Museum of History and Ethnography. Art Gallery of Antiochus Cantemir. Municipal Library. Municipal Palace of Culture. Center of Culture and Youth. Former Zavoda Road Recreation Center. Flakara Palace of Culture. 8th Quarter. Moldovo Palace of Culture. The Patria Balti Movie Theatre is closed. Pedestrian Zone. Wedding Palace. The former house of the landowner Badescu, as it stands, the architect Eddie Rosa Spire, 1934. In the downtown, the pedestrian zone, which is a part of Independența Street, lies. It is the biggest pedestrian street in Moldova. In the territory of the pedestrian zone there are also 2 squares, Vasil Alexandri Square and Independence Square. This street is the place of gathering of many people for rest, where there takes place the majority of actions, events and various events. On it a number of shopping centers, shops and restaurants are located. From cultural sites on it there are an avenue of classics, the Central Park, a summer platform and a set of other various monuments of architecture. Among office and cultural buildings, the Mayor's Office, Recreation Center, National Theatre of Vasil Alexandri, the Museum, the Multipurpose Center, the Museum, the Movie Theatre Building, Wedding Palace, the Central Library are located here. Total length of the street -1.2 km. Monuments, History and Architecture. Monument to Taras Shevchenko. St. Nicholas's Cathedral, 1795. Church of the Nativity of the Virgin, 1884. Church of Street. Grigory, Educator of Armenia, 1916. Street. Church. Apostles Piet and Pavel, 1929. Street. Church. Archangels Michael and Gabriel. 1933. Street. Church. Venerable Parascaf. 1934. Building of the Balti Diocesan Department. 1934. Building of the Dniester Institute of Economy and Right. 1934. Street. Cathedral. Constantine equal to the Apostles and Elena. 1935. The avenue to the soldiers who fell in 1941-1944. 1944. Memorial complex to the Soviet soldiers. 1950th. Monument to liberators of the city, tank. 1970. Monument to N. Ostrovsky. 1970th. Monument to Alec Rousseau. 1971. Monument Hospitality. Mother-in-law. Beginning of the 1960th. Monument to Vladimir Lenin. 1980. Monument to Railroad Workers, Engine. 1980th. Monument to the member of the Young Guard Boris Glavin. 1981. M. An accessible link. It is archived on May 1, 2010. Monument to Mihai Eminescu. 1990. Sculptural composition, theatre, on a facade of National Theatre of Vasil Alexandri. 1990. Monument to the victims of fascist genocide. 1998. Monument to the soldiers who fell in Afghanistan. 1999. Monument to Taras Shevchenko. 2001. Monument to the victims of Chernobyl. 2003. Monument to Stefan the Great. 2004. Avenue of Classics. 2010. Monument to Vladimir Vysotsky. 2013. Education. The Balti State University of Alec Rousseau. The building of the former Lyceum of the Princess Ileana for Girls, the architect Eti Rosaspirer, 1938. The Balti State University of Alec Rousseau. Dniester Institute of Economy and Right. Multi-branch of the Baltic Institute of Economy, Policy and Right. Balti Training Center of the Moldavian branch of Modern Humanitarian Institute. Academy. Teacher Training Collegium. 1. Cranj. Polytechnical College. Medical College. Musical Teacher Training College. Technical College of Railway Transport. College of Light Industry. Balti Art School. Professional Schools -5. Model Center for Rendering Services and Processing of Foodstuff. 13 Theoretical Lyceums. 11 Gymnasiums. 1 Elementary School. 36 preschool institutions also work in the city. Media. Joint venture, the Independent Information and Analytical Weekly and the News Portal. Broker, the advertising newspaper of Moldova and Ukraine. Balti City, the information portal of the city of Balti. Petit, the Balti Television. In Balti several operators of cable television work. Analog. Digital. IPT. Services of the Internet in Balti are provided by the following companies. The Fixed Internet. Mold Telecom on Air Technologies. Starnet on Air Technologies. Orange Moldova on DOCSIS Technologies. Wireless Internet. Orange Moldova on Lead Technologies. Moldcell on Lead Technology. Unite on Lead Technology. Mobile communication is provided by the following operators. Orange. Standards GAN-ZEM AMT Lead. Moldcell. Standards GAN-ZEM AMT Lead. Unite. Standards of AMT Lead. Facts. The song by Alexander Olshanetsky on versus Yakov Jakobs, Meine Städtelbelts. My Town of Balti. Yiddish. Written especially for Isaac Kremer, one of the most popular songs in Yiddish. The Moldavian physician veterinarian N. Blahovsky founded the veterinary station operating so far in the city. In July 1941, Rencho Gajdrik, the head of Head Department of Imperial Safety, executed several flights from the airport Balti cities in the private modified Messerschmitt BD 109 for conducting airfights. Gajdrik was hit by the Soviet air defense over Ukraine and he hardly managed to avoid captivity. In the 1980th years, the city authorities delegated Marshal Akrameev to the Supreme Council of the Soviet Union. He was one of close allies of putschists of 1991 who tried to strip of power Gorbachev. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.